Wake up. You're missing the obvious. Life is a fractal. Not fractal, like some cute desktop wallpaper. Fractal, like the same patterns repeating in your thoughts, your habits, your relationships, your bank account, your health. Look close enough. And the way you deal with doing the dishes is the way you deal with your dreams. Look far enough, and your 5-minute procrastination loop is the same as your 5-year life drift. Change the pattern at one scale, and the others can't help but shift. That's physics, that's systems theory. That's the universe doing its math. You wake up, check your phone, doom scroll. You think it's about staying updated. No. It's you teaching your nervous system to be reactive instead of creative. To chase someone else's agenda before you even had your own thought. That micro pattern, same damn one, that makes you avoid starting the business, the workout, the conversation that matters. You're not just scrolling. You're placing a bet every morning on whether you're going to be the author of your day or just a character in someone else's story. You want freedom, health, joy, fun, connection, to feel alive. Let's pace that. Yes, you want to love your life, feel proud, leave something behind that matters. Now I lead you. Those values, they're not built in one grand gesture. They're constructed brick by brick in the smallest, most boring-looking choices that you make on repeat. Fractals don't give a shit about your excuses. They replicate whatever you feed them. Feed them hesitation. You grow a life of mischances. Feed them courage, micro-actions. You grow a life of momentum, opportunity and self-respect. Science says neuroplasticity. Every repeated thought and action literally resculpts your brain. Dopamine loops. Your brain will crave whatever you repeatedly reward. Complex system theory. Tiny shifts in starting conditions can create massive divergence over time. Chaos theory's butterfly effect. Mirror neurons. You become like the people and environment you interact with the most. So why are you afraid? Because changing the pattern feels like betrayal. Your nervous system thinks familiar is safe, even if familiar is shit. And you're afraid of the ripple effect. Afraid people will judge. Afraid that change will stick and you'll have no excuses left. Afraid you might actually succeed and then have to keep showing up. When you break a pattern with humour, shock, or an unexpected action, the brain goes into a what the hell state. That gap is the golden doorway. In that doorway, you can slip in new beliefs like seeds into fresh soil. This is how hypnotic language, paradox, and misdirection rewire people without them realising it. The common stuck fractals. I'll start Monday, also known as never. I need to research more, also known as fear disguised as preparation. I'm not ready, also known as the ego protecting you from discomfort. It's not perfect yet, also known as permission to never launch. Later, also known as the graveyard of potential. These patterns eat lives. You've probably buried years in them already. You're making tea. You spill sugar on the counter. Old pattern. Leave it for later. New pattern. Wipe it now. It's not about sugar. It's you proving that you close loops. People who close loops don't procrastinate on telling the truth, on sending the email, on quitting the job that's rotting their soul. That's fractal law. Do nothing and the pattern calcifies. You'll wake up in 10 years looking in the mirror and see the accumulation of every later that you ever chose. You'll feel the weight of all the doors you never opened. That's not faith, that's math. Shift now and you get compound interest. The discipline to do one hard thing today snowballs into a year where people say, holy shit, what happened to you? Joy stops being this rare lightning strike and starts being the natural weather that you live in. As you hear my words, notice the pattern of your breath. In, out, just like the tides, just like your days. And imagine what happens when one wave changes. When the tide turns, the whole shoreline transforms. You've already done this before. The time you finally called them back. The time you took the first step. The time you stopped lying to yourself. You can do this. You have done this. You're doing it right now. And as these patterns shift in your mind, your emotions, your actions, the bigger fractals shift. The leaf becomes a new tree. The tree shapes a new forest. The forest changes the whole climate. You're the leaf. You're the forest. You're the damn climate. And the climate just changed.